Yeah. And
Yeah.
I love what the show was brilliant for so many reasons. It harped on all of our pop culture, loving strings. Like we love, our generation or whatever, we get off on meta stuff. We get off on, revisiting pop culture and nostalgia. And this was like, okay, instead of just like, trying to do what Jon Favreau was doing, like by really what JJ Abrams took advantage with, but Jon Favreau actually dialed in the right amount. This idea of doing like a nostalgic type Star Wars. Sorry, my language is not that.
No, I got you. He kind of had a tour de force of like the OT. Like
right.
he like it wasn't like Mandalorian is not the original trilogy.
Right.
It feels like the original trilogy though. It feels like something that would have been on television when that was airing.
But it's not like JJ. JJ's just like,
I'll do it again.
Like, well, no, but JJ's like not just doing a requel, but also just like shoving, like, it's funny. People are like, oh, fuck this movie. It's not even that good. Oh, look what's happening right now. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Like
member berries.
Member berries. But at the same time, but here's the thing. And I'm
not a big fan of JJ, so.
No, I'm not the biggest fan of him either. And here's the thing about Star Wars, and this is what ultimately, I don't know where you stand on The Last Jedi, the polarization of The Last Jedi.
You know what? I can tell you really quick.
Yeah,
I was the guy who I was lukewarm on Force Awakens because I walked out and I was like, well, if we're just gonna redo everything, I was like, this bores me. Then I loved The Last Jedi. I was one of those people that loved The Last Jedi. But then I absolutely loathe Rise of Skywalker. We don't need to get into it. But now I don't even really like The Last Jedi because it's a sandwich with two moldy pieces of bread.
Okay, gotcha.
And now the whole thing just sucks because they didn't plan anything out. So I don't really care that The Last Jedi is great, in my opinion. I'm just like, the whole thing's bunk. If anything, the only Disney Star Wars film I really love is Solo, honestly, and that's weird.
Loved Solo. No, loved Solo.
But I don't think we're in the minority there. I don't think people feel like that. So
I think Rogue One was the best of all the new films that they.
I'm not the biggest fan of Rogue One, but it's a beautiful movie. I don't like that director. I don't like that director or anything he's made, but it's a beautiful movie and it's got some great stuff in it.
Real quick about the Star Wars thing. So I am
sorry.
Polar. No, it's okay. Polar opposite from you. I really, really, really loathe The Last Jedi. Because here's the thing.
I think you said that on another episode of your show. I was watching. Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah,
I hate The Last Jedi.
Yes,
but I want to clarify that because it's so much more complicated. It's
a lot.
It's
we could have another show where we talk about
yes. And we're going to go back to WandaVision in a second, but it pertains to it in the same way, in a similar sort of sense.
Okay.
The thing about the thing that really bothers me about The Last Jedi is that, again, and it's not Rian Johnson's fault. But at the same time, it's like he showed up to a Led Zeppelin concert and didn't play Stairway to Heaven. He played like an obscure B-side from a Pavement album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and so a lot of people, myself included, are like, dude, just do Stairway to Heaven, man. Like, it's the middle part of the trilogy. Just do Stairway to Heaven. What are you doing?
The weird part of how it all worked out, and I don't think anyone's wrong per se, because I have close friends, so I very much disagree with, but it's like, it came down to one question: what do we want from Star Wars?
That's true.
And apparently, I wanted something different at that point.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand why people love Force Awakens. I get it. I even understand why people like Rise of Skywalker. I would like Rise of Skywalker if it had no baggage. If it was just a piece of crap movie that had no baggage and it was just supposed to be fun, sure, I'm down.
I was very satisfied with the Rise of Skywalker after
The
Last Jedi. But here's the thing. Here's the other thing too. That's not, and at the same time, while I am annoyed with Rian Johnson's choices for sure, you know who I put the blame on, really. The blame belongs to to Kathleen Kennedy, and
It's a producing problem.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
dude, where's your showrunner?
Without
Like,
being
this needed
toxic,
a showrunner. Yeah.
Like,
You
I know
know, like,
she's taken a lot of toxic shit online and stuff. Like, she was
no, I'm not, but hold on.
but I know
just
you're
wanna
not doing that.
clarify.
I know you're not doing
No,
that.
no,
I'm
no,
just saying for both of us, we're not doing
okay,
that. We're not
yes.
saying
No,
that.
just to
Yeah.
clarify, I'm not,
Yeah.
it's not just her. I'm just
Right,
saying
yeah.
in general,
Yeah.
the decision, but I'm saying this was her decision. The decision to not have the showrunner really just sort of like, you needed your Kevin Feige, and you didn't have that for this series. And that's where if I have to give any kind of accountability to her, it would be that. Honestly, that would be
like
thing.
I think a lot of people would agree that, like, you don't like The Last Jedi, right? But
Here's the other thing.
I don't really think it's terrible, even if you don't like it. I think if you removed it,
I don't hate The Last Jedi. I think The
Right.
Last Jedi is a very interesting film
Right,
and does
right.
some very interesting things. The reason why I don't like it is because it doesn't belong there. It
Right.
belongs somewhere else. It didn't belong as the middle part of the trilogy. You killed off Luke Skywalker when he's still alive.
I mean, the fact that they all just let it happen where the three of them never had a scene together,
mind-boggling.
It's absolutely
mind-boggling.
How could they do that? Like, it really, that's a producing problem. Like,
Right.
a producer should have said, first thing, I want a scene where Han, Leia, and Luke hug. Is that so hard?
Right.
It's been 40 years.
So that's my point. Like, I know she's taken a lot of toxic stuff, but at the same time, all I would say is, like, come on.
I'll tell you why I hate Force Awakens I said it the day I saw it, is when Chewie didn't hug Leia, I was pissed. I was like,
what's that all about?
I was like, Rey, I have nothing against Rey, but I was like, she could hug her after Chewie did. I was like, this is a character we spent 40 years in love with, and he walks by her like nothing happened. But what about Solo was just murdered?
What about Luke Skywalker? What about Luke Skywalker when he sees Chewie and friggin' C-3PO in Last Jedi? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The trilogy is fundamentally flawed. And here's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
In the same way that they are fixing, or hopefully fixing the Snyder cut with whatever, yada, yada, yada. I hope that, because they've spent way too much money for this stuff not to be canon at this point. But
it's canon, no matter we like it or not. So
maybe Jon Favreau is gonna like sit there when they re-release these things, the extended whatevers, because they're going to do it. They're waiting. They're watching what happens on HBO Max. That's going to be really tell you where they're going to go with that ball. And then they get someone like Jon Favreau to come in and make things feel more cohesive, retooled in a way where we can at least sort of be more content than maybe we are.
I think I don't disagree with you, because I feel like in the last few years, you could argue everything Dave Filoni has done, Mandalorian included, but I mean the cartoons, they kind of make the prequels better. Like, they actually, Dave Filoni saved the prequels somehow.
Yeah, dude.
And Jon Favreau kind of saved Star Wars rep. So it can be done sort of retroactively to make all of it work.
Yeah,
but I
really
kind of checked out a little bit from Star Wars, to be honest. Like, so not that I still obviously love the OT, and I'm a prequels defender. Not that they're good, but
you know,
they at least they're trying something different. How's that? That's what I always say.
I want to bring this back to WandaVision, because honestly,
we need to,
I'm loving this conversation.
Yeah.
This is just, you know what this is? You know what this really tells me?
Yeah.
This tells me that I have to have you on my show in the future to talk about something else.
I'm down.
So
I'm down.
But I want to say one thing about the prequels. I don't mind. I don't hate on the prequels as much as everybody else hates on the prequels.
Yeah.
I do, however, or I am always kind of interested in the concept of, I would love to see some guy who's really good at that stuff take, stuff from the prequels and sort of combined it either into 1 2-hour movie, like something that really truncates, like takes all the best stuff.
Didn't Topher Grace do that or something? Wasn't there
did he do that?
Wasn't that something he did, or did he do it with Lord of the Rings? I can't remember.
I don't know, but I would love to see them after, you've heard this idea. I don't know if you're familiar with the machete cut and what it is.
Yeah, of course.
I love this idea of, like, you find out who Darth Vader is, and then you go back and learn how he became Darth Vader, and then you finish things up with Return of the Jedi. But instead of getting lost in 3 prequels, why not have this, like, I wish there was like this truncated, like, extra long movie that is just like prequel, and then you go, oh, that's why things are the way that they are.
Right,
Cut
right.
out some of the stuff that that doesn't work, because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work, and
Yeah.
keep all the really good stuff. That, and yes, you see that 20 years later, people are starting to not hate on the prequels so much. You start saying,
Well,
oh,
I think
that's a lot more here.
honestly, after J.J. Abrams kind of got his hands on that, I think that some people like me are like, I kind of prefer badly executed new ideas to exquisitely executed rehash.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. Like, which one do you prefer? Because the sequel trilogy is gorgeous, and it gives you a lot of that feel and texture that we all missed.
Yes.
Because the prequels, they look like the prequels. They don't even look good.
They look terrible. They look
terrible.
really terrible. But HD cam does not hold up.
They look awful.
Got to shoot on film, George.
Right. But they're executed. There's some terrible acting.
Yeah.
But the ideas and what they're doing, it's different. It does not feel like the original trilogy at all.
No.
At all. It's like foreign. It's weird.
No.
Like, talking about like Last Jedi versus Rise of Skywalker, like it does not fit. And I kind of like that now. And maybe it's my age or something, because I didn't at first. I hated them just as much as everyone else. And now I'm like, kind of dig some of the stuff they're doing more than, blowing up a planet again with a Death Star. Okay.
I know, that was really stupid.
Like,
all right. So anyway,
WandaVision.